And we're going to get started. First, just a couple quick housekeeping items. I want everyone on Zoom to know that we are recording this. The idea is so we can post it on the website or on YouTube later on so that people can practice this on their own time. So if you're speaking, then you'll be on the recording. Um, this isn't the type of thing where has to be a lot of interaction. So no one, I guess what I'm saying is no one should be on the recording except me. Um, Second thing is just letting everybody know that this is being put on by Evolution Mental Health Services. We try to help people improve their mental health, and mindfulness is a great way to do that. And it's what I like about it is it's something it's easy in the sense that like it's free to access. It's something you can do anywhere, anytime. Doesn't require a lot of equipment and blah 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 blah. So we're happy to offer this service to people. All right. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and kind of get ourselves centered and kind of ready to do our thing here. So if everybody just kind of sit in a position where you're comfortable, where you can feel relaxed, but also supported, like upright, where you can breathe well. So everybody just kind of get in a good position and let's just take a few breaths to kind of get ourselves going. Just a couple deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. Just everybody feels a little more present, a little more relaxed. So the topic for today is pain. When I say pain, could be physical pain, could be emotional pain. Pain it's unavoidable. It's something that we all experience, and it's something that we want to avoid it. We try to distract ourselves from it with different activities, with things like that. We try to, cover it up, through all kinds of different things, drugs, prescription and otherwise, all kinds of stuff people do to try to deal with pain, um, to where they don't really experience it. I think it's important for us to remember that pain is actually a necessary part of life. Pain is a teacher. Pain lets us know that something is wrong. Um, and sometimes that's something we can fix. Sometimes it's not something we can fix. But regardless of the cause of the pain, the type of pain, it's important to feel it and to get to know it, know why it's there and what it's trying to tell us. Even though pain is inescapable, we do have some control over the amount of suffering we experience in that process. There's a saying, pain times resistance equals suffering. The idea there being that the more we try to resist pain, the more we're going to suffer. I can tell you from my experience working with people who are dealing with emotional pain, and honestly my own personal experience, I have found that to be true. I've often thought that, I'm talking to somebody and I'm like, if they would just give in to the fact that they're sad or that they're angry or whatever it is, and just accept that and allow themselves to experience that emotion, they would feel better. But they don't want to go through that because it's scary or it's uncomfortable or whatever. And so they keep trying to push it off, push it off, push it off, cover it up, run away from it, whatever. And like I said, I've even been guilty of that myself. But when we do that, it just makes the suffering worse. Sometimes when I'm talking to clients, I compare it to a wound that's, instead of getting, treated appropriately, it's becoming infected and actually getting worse instead of better. So there's a quote from an old poet named Rumi, Rumi, that I really like. He says, "The cure for the pain is in the pain." And that makes a lot of sense to me. So that's what we're going to practice today. Um, and when I say we're going to practice dealing with pain that might sound scary because you might be thinking, well, Greg, I don't want to sit here and think about the pain that I'm in. And that's understandable. So I hope it's some comfort to know that my goal here today is peace, not increased suffering. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm kind of walk us through this exercise. Um, and the way the flow will work is we'll breathe a little bit, I'll talk a little bit, then I'll let everyone kind of do their, practice this on their own for a minute, then I'll talk some more. It'll be kind of a back and forth. All right, but again, the goal is to understand our pain and to better deal with that pain. So the first thing I want everybody to do, if you're comfortable doing so, I encourage you to close your eyes. You don't have to if you're not comfortable with that. The purpose of closing your eyes is just to tune out distractions, just an extra layer of getting rid of distraction. And let's just take again just a few deep breaths to kind of bring ourselves in. So just we'll say just like 3 deep breaths. What I want everyone to do, we're all going to take a moment and just scan ourselves. We're going to start with what we call a body scan. So we're just going to take note of how we're feeling in our body, how our physical sensations. So just sit and continue to breathe and think about things like how do you feel in your joints? How do you feel in your muscles? How do you feel in your chest? How's your heartbeat? How's your breathing? How do you feel in your stomach? And as you kind of scan your body, I just want you to take note of any pain that you might physically feel in your body. We're not going to do anything with it yet. I just want you to scan your body and just see what comes up and take notes. So let's take a couple minutes to do that. Now, I want us to scan our emotions. Just take a couple moments and just check in with yourself and see how you're feeling. It could be anything's okay. Maybe you feel peaceful. Maybe you feel happy. Maybe you feel content. Maybe you feel anxious. Maybe you feel sad. Maybe you feel afraid of something. Maybe you're angry. Just take a few moments here and continue to just check in with yourself and make note of how you feel and particularly any emotional pain that you might be experiencing right now. Now that we've taken a few minutes and examined ourselves, I want you to ask yourself the question, what pain have I been avoiding? What have I been distracting myself from or trying to cover up, trying to pretend like it's not there? What pain have I been trying to avoid? This is one of those questions that usually the first answer that comes to your mind is the correct answer. And what pain have I been avoiding? So I want to make an important point here. When we talk about trying to avoid pain, we all have our own limits. Sometimes pain truly is too difficult to bear, and that's okay. That's just part of being human. So as you identify the pain that you're experiencing or that you've been experiencing, and you recognize that you've been trying to avoid it, I want you to ask yourself another question. I want you to ask yourself, can I let this be? And what I mean by that is, can I sit with this pain and experience it? And if you say yes to that question, it doesn't mean that you enjoy pain. It just means that you're accepting it. And if you say no, it's too much. I can't sit and experience it. That doesn't mean you're weak. It just means that you're human and you've got your limits like everyone else. And in those types of cases where the answer is a clear no for you, then it is okay to try to, use some other maybe more distracting type practice to not dwell on the pain. So what I want us to do now is everybody pick a pain that you've noticed today, especially if it's one that you've been trying to avoid, something that you can sit with, something that you notice during that scan that maybe it's uncomfortable, but you can sit and experience it. I just want you to identify what that pain is and give it a name. Maybe its name is back pain. Maybe it's upset stomach. Maybe it's sadness. Maybe it's fear. Just take a moment, identify that pain that you can sit with and give it a name. Now, as we sit and we allow ourselves to feel that pain, I want you to really pay attention to it. Take note. How does it feel? Like, what are the sensations that you feel in your body? Even emotional pain has physical manifestation. So, how are you feeling that in your body? Where are you feeling it in your body? And how does it feel? So, let's just take a moment and really examine that pain. Where is it? How does it feel? Now, as you're allowing yourself to experience that pain and try to get to know it better, I want to remind everyone that whatever you're experiencing is okay. And however you need to deal with that is okay. It's okay to be hurt. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be anxious. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel how you feel and to let your body and your mind and your spirit respond the way that's best for you. So let's just continue to allow ourselves to experience that. And I want you to take note of what you tell yourself about this pain, the messages that you give yourself. Are they accepting? Are they comforting? Are they critical? Are they judging? What do you tell yourself about this pain? Now that we've experienced the pain, we've allowed ourselves to feel it. We've tried to get to know it better. We've examined our thoughts related to this pain. I want us to take some time to practice loving kindness. And what I mean by that is, I want us to ask this pain what it needs. What is it trying to tell us? What do we need to be able to address this pain? So just take some time and reflect on that. What is this pain trying to tell me? What do I need? Now that we've asked what we need, I want us to take just a few moments to offer comfort to ourselves, to offer comfort to that pain. And that might come in different ways. Maybe it's physical comfort that you need. Maybe it's something as simple as laying down or standing up. Maybe it's compassion that you need. Maybe you need to allow yourself to hurt and accept that hurting is part of life and that it's okay. It is okay to hurt. Maybe you need to make yourself a promise that there's something that you've been ignoring that you're going to tend to. It could be something as straightforward as maybe you're going to go see a doctor or a chiropractor or an acupuncturist or someone like that. Or maybe you're going to talk to a therapist about something. Maybe it's an action that you need to take, a relationship that you need to work on or get rid of, whatever it is. Now that you've identified the pain, the source of the pain, what it's trying to tell you, in realistic terms, things that you can control, I want you to offer the pain what it needs. So now we're going to come back into the world around us. So we'll continue to just take a few deep breaths. And when you're ready, you can just slowly open your eyes and take in the environment around you. I encourage everyone to take note of your experiences today during this practice. Maybe write some things down, maybe talk to a friend, just, pay attention to what you've experienced and how you should, how you should respond to that. Follow through with your needs, follow through with the promises you made to yourself. Definitely encourage people to practice this sort of thing on your own time. I think it's something that can be very beneficial. And I hope to see everyone back here next week. That's it for today. Be well, be at peace, be free.